Who are the guys that are just playing way better than they have any right to? We're going to talk about some guys who are going to drop and what you can do on your fantasy team. Michael Bolton.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy, your daily NBA fantasy podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd, and we're going to put this show into H. I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets. To use across the app, head to FanDuel.com to get started. Thank you also for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We are free. We are available on all platforms, and we're the #1 sports podcast network. Thank you to you for listening, watching, and pushing us there. We've got shows for all sports, all teams, all leagues, covered everywhere. Watch them. And let's push this one to 100k subs. We are getting there slowly. Hopefully, we get there by the end of the season. We'll see. What we're talking about here is sell highs. And I talked about this yesterday in the Buy Low show about how there are less interest in sell high shows. And the reason does make sense. Because when we've mentioned the names, I've got 6 names I'm going to talk about here, is that you might not have these 6 players on your team. So be like, okay, what do I care? If I don't have them, what do I do? I think sometimes it can be good just to get a lay of the land of the NBA, but maybe that's not for you. But also, I think there's a utility if you don't have these players in your team. Then if you get offered them in a trade, maybe you look at it and go, don't know about that. Don't know, are you trying to cash in here and pull some wool over someone's eyes? I don't know. So we could talk about trades and we talk about players and who are overperforming and the value of guys. But I think look at it 2 ways. If you've got these players, you think of ways that either you get off them or understand there's going to be a drop. Conversely, if you don't, be wary. Be wary of trades that come through involving these players. Be wary of situations where it's like you might be in a shallow format even, and they've been dropped, and you go, do I add them? And then you drop someone more valuable. For some of these cases anyway, not for all of them. But it is just worth mentioning that I think there are multiple ways to look at it, because it is a hard thing to approach to cover everybody's interests at every point. And I do try to do that as best I can. So let's look at how we did on the overperformers, the sell highs from 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks worth of games since we did that first show. How did the results pan out? Well, the first name on that list was the double royal, Julius Randle. He was 13th. Since then, he is 24th. So he has lost 1 round of value. I do believe that there is more coming. As much as I do like Randle, and I do think that he has been underrated in fantasy for years, I don't think that he maintains this particular level. So it did drop off a little bit, and I think there is more coming. The next one of the largest sell highs you could have possibly gotten. He was 25th, Keyshawn George. And in the 2 weeks since we did that show, he's 120th. Now, the reality for Keyshawn probably lies somewhere in the middle there. It's closer to 120 than it is to 25. And we knew that some of the stuff that he was doing to begin the season with, like I think 89% at the rim and 55% three-point shooting or something crazy like that, was not likely to be able to hold. But now, like as always, this stuff always swings. It always goes too far one way, then past the other way, and then we got to get back in the middle. But Mikal Bridges, well, I did think that he was going to drop off, and technically he did, but also not really. He's sort of been the same. He was 37th, and he's 39th since then. He has been ridiculously good. And the thing here is that now that you've got no Brunson and no Anunoby, along with the things that he was doing, you're probably going to get a bit of a usage bump in the next couple of weeks, which might keep him at this level. So far, that sell high in Mikal Bridges has not worked. We'll see where it goes. And he was doing stuff that didn't really make sense to me, but he's been great. Kudos. Same with Jaden McDaniels. I thought that he would be someone that would drop off, and he's actually gotten better. I'm still having some skepticism about McDaniels maintaining this level. He was 77th, and now he's 59th in the next 2 weeks. I still think he hovers more around 110, 106, 105, that area, right? But he's proving me wrong so far. Steph Castle has not. He was 35th. He's 74th since. Admittedly, one of those games he did leave early with an injury, but the game before that, he was bad. The games before that, he was good. I still don't really know where to position Castle. He was putting up mid numbers. Dylan Harper went down. He put up huge numbers. Really looked awesome. De'Aaron Fox came back. Castle somehow got even better and looked great. And then it sort of switched. And then Fox got all the usage and Castle was standing around doing nothing in that one game and in the half before he got injured. So I don't really know where he sits. Overall, I'm yet to be fully convinced of the shooting. And I'm yet to be fully convinced of him being a high-level lead playmaker. But he showed flashes of it. But so much of this with Castle is going to be about fit. With Wemby, with Fox. I don't know how long Castle's even going to be out. With Harper. So the sell high on him, he was 35th. 74th since then. I guess that worked. But I believe the book is still very much out on what on earth happens with Castle this season, with a lot of different moving parts and pieces. Let's talk about the ones that we've got coming up now. And I want to go straight to Cleveland to talk about the Donovan Mitchell. Don has been good over the last 2 weeks. Well, he's been good all season, honestly, but he's been rolling. He has been the 8th ranked player over the last 2 weeks. I think he's more of a top 24 player. In fact, I've got him ranked 24th in head-to-head leagues rest of season. He's averaging a insane 53 fantasy points over the last 2 weeks. And I think there are some pretty, I don't know if obvious is the right thing. I hope they're obvious, but pretty obvious things that we can look at with these numbers and go, yeah, I don't know about this. Number one, right? Darius Garland has barely played. And we have to have skepticism about Garland. We have to. And one of the things I talked about with Garland in the preseason is when he has an injury. Oh, sorry, let me rephrase that. When Garland is healthy, awesome. He dominates. When he's injured, and then when he comes back, it feels like it takes forever for him to get rolling. And he came back, he played 2 games, and hurt his toe again, and he's out again. So I don't know. So this one for Mitchell could be one of those ones where he just keeps it going for another 4 weeks. But I do think eventually he's not going to average 32 points a game. I'm actually pretty certain of that. I don't believe that Mitchell's going to be that guy at that level. I also think that the Cavs, we all know that Evan Mobley's also struggling at the moment. So not only is Garland out, but Mobley's not really doing his thing. So Mitchell is picking up a lot of slack. And this is something that founder of the Locked On Podcast Network, David Locke, said when Donovan Mitchell played in Utah. Right? He said, when Donovan Mitchell is the point guard, it is great for Donovan Mitchell. It is fantastic. It's awesome. He puts up big numbers. It's not good for everybody else. And it's not good for the team. The team performs worse when Donovan Mitchell is the point guard. Donovan Mitchell's stats go up. And what we are seeing in Cleveland at the moment is Donovan Mitchell is the point guard. His stats are going up and the team is a little shaky. So eventually they are going to want to get Mitchell off ball more in order to make the team better. So Mitchell, again, the numbers are ridiculous. He has ramped it up over the last couple of weeks. And you'll notice he's averaging 6.4 assists and 6.6 rebounds. And 1.6 steals. I think all of those numbers are going to drop. And he's doing this shooting 61% on his twos. Now, to be fair to Mitchell, he's hitting 63% of his twos over the course of the season. But I'll also be fair to him in this way and say that he hit 51 last season, 53 the year before that, 56 the year before that. So I've got a fair idea that he's not going to hold at these numbers. They're just way too high. And percentages drive everything. Added in the assist from playing point guard, he's not going to hold here. Now, how do you deal with this? What do you do in a trade for Mitchell? Because we know there's a lot of top 10 players getting hurt. Wemby got hurt. Giannis hurt. AD, if you count him as a top 10 player, you shouldn't. Cade Cunningham. These players have been injured. So what do you do? Who do you try to trade Mitchell for? In all reality, you can just hold him, right? If that's what you want. Because I'm not sure that the points drop off could be 12 fantasy points. That's huge, right? But if you believe you can get a top 12 player back, do it. If you believe you can do that. If you believe with Anthony Edwards underperforming that you can get Anthony Edwards for Donovan Mitchell, do it. I would do that immediately. I wouldn't do it for Anthony Davis at all. Would I do it for Cade Cunningham? Yeah. Very easily. He's injured at the moment too. Obviously returning very soon. But otherwise, I'm not going to trade Mitchell for a guy that I think is the 20th best player. What's the point of that? I think we just enjoy it, understanding that there can be a sizable drop here. A sizable drop. He might go to 4.5 assists. He might go to 1.4 steals. He might go to 29 points. He might shoot 55 from 2. And all that pushes you way down. it's been great, but I think there has to be a healthy level of skepticism about some of these numbers. We've got more sell highs to talk about. We'll get to that in a sec. Today's episode, though, it's brought to you by the thing you've been waiting for. It's time for me to tell you about Skims, because Skims makes underwear for men. Of course they do. It makes perfect sense. We've been talking about, or maybe you have, I don't know if I have. I've been talking about the comfort level that women have been going through with Skims underwear for years. Internal thoughts, perhaps. But now we can actually say it out loud because they have Skims for men as a product. And I got another box from Skims of their underwear the other day. Love it. Whipped them straight on. Probably shouldn't have done it at the letterbox, but that's how excited I was to get my Skims. And now, the hype, it's real. All of the different styles. The sizing, of course, perfect. Perfect fit, perfect pouching. The material, the cotton, the stretchy stuff, that's made of the inside of gym shorts. You know the ones. The 3-inch boxer briefs. 5 inches. All of the great options to have a Skims, so you don't have to feel left out in those conversations when you walk up and go, what are you ladies talking about? Your underwear? I've got some good ones too now. And you're not going to be treated weirdly because you can actually speak from experience. And that is why Skims is one of the best Christmas presents that you can get for yourself, your partner, your mates, your brother, whoever it is. Skims has the holiday shop open now as well. So when you're looking for that perfect gift, maybe it's for yourself, maybe it is for someone else, but just drop the hint. Wouldn't mind some Skims, and you can get it from the holiday shop. So shop Skims Men's now at skims.com. And when you place your order, choose podcast in the post-purchase survey, and then you select this show from the drop-down menu to let them know that we sent you. Today's episode is also brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA is back, and there is no better place to get in on the action than with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you miss the start of the game, you might want to get in and ride the hot hand. Well, you can do it on FanDuel. You can bet on anything from who will score next, betting on fourth quarter comebacks, maybe even fourth quarter blowouts. Might want to look at a Thunder game and go, I reckon they might be 25 up at the end of the third quarter. That seems to be a pretty good bet at this point. Plus, all of your live bets you can combine into a same-game parlay to increase your chances of a larger payout. It enables you to put your eye test to the test. Bet live as the games are happening. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So go to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. And don't forget to gamble responsibly. All right, we are talking sell high players, or again, more accurately, guys who are just outperforming what our rest of season expectations should be, why they are outperforming those expectations, and what maybe we can do about it. Sometimes it goes not without saying, but we just assume certain things. Sometimes we forget what we've assumed. And I know that's deep, and you might want to consult your Kafka and have a read of things. Is Kafka? He's one of those guys, isn't he? He's one of those guys. Yeah, sure he is. Kafka. Have a look at Ken Murphy, because we all know deep down that Trey Murphy is a very good player. We all know deep down that Zion Williamson and Jordan Poole are out. We all know there's a chance that Zion Williamson will miss more games in the future. But we don't always properly contextualize it. At the moment, over the last 2 weeks, Trey Murphy, who I think is around a top 50 player for the season, around that mark, he's the 14th ranked player over the last 2 weeks. He's averaging 39 fantasy points. I think he's more of a 33 to 35 guy. So what is happening with Ken Murphy? Well, he's averaging 24 points a game. He's hitting 3 threes a game. He's up 7 rebounds a game. He is hitting 40% from 3, 95% from the line, and 51% from the field overall. There are numerous things about this with Murphy. Again, you could say we don't know if or when Zion is coming back. And I'd say to you, I'm pretty sure he's just about to return, right? So he can get re-injured at any point, but his return is coming. Jordan Poole's return is coming. And you know who else is coming? Santa, because Christmas is around the corner, but also DeJounte Murray at some point is going to play, I'm guessing. That is not to say that Poole is a high volume player or gets good minutes, or Zion stays healthy, or DeJounte doesn't come in and out and in and out. But at the moment, Trey is just getting full run of everything. And that enables you to push those numbers up. His usage isn't even that massive, but it is higher than you should expect. It's at 24. I think he's a 21 to 20 usage player. but maybe closer to probably 21. That makes a difference. But he's also doing the thing. You know the thing. It's the thing. Maybe we're just going to call it the thing. Increased opportunity, increased usage, while also increasing usage as a general rule. Usage up, efficiency down. That is a general rule. But the way to take advantage of things in overperformings or sell highs and that sort of stuff is when the opposite happens. Is when usage up, efficiency up. Because it makes the player look way better. He's got a 67% true shooting over the last 2 weeks. He's at 63% on his twos. And he's also doing it defensively with 1.8 steals. Now, Trey can be a solid defender. But he averaged 1.1 steals last season, 0.9 the year before, and 1.1 the year before that. Seems unlikely he's going to be almost a 2-steal guy. Seems unlikely to me he's going to be a 50, 40, 90 player. He might be close, but it is very hard to get there. And the difference, again, we talk about this all the time. He was 88.7 from the line last season. Elite. The difference between that and 94.7 is still 6 percentage points. Same as the difference between 88 and 82. It is making a difference. He's also attempting almost 5 free throws a game over this time frame, which accounts for the usage and 36 minutes a game. So his scoring is up as the number one guy. He's hitting every shot imaginable. His steals are somehow through the roof. And he's playing, 36 minutes a night. And I would expect, maybe the minutes don't drop, but I would expect usage drops, points drop, steals drop, field goals drop, free throws drop, free throw volume drops. And he's a player that's had risk of injury as well. So when we're talking about what Murphy brings, if I could get a top 25 player back, yeah, pretty easy decision for me. Because there will be people who are like, yeah, Murphy's their best player. Zion's never going to play. Poole will get traded. DeJounte won't come back. There'll be people who think that. You might be one of them. You might have already clacked it on the keyboard in front of you while I'm talking. And that's who I want to give Trey. And I love Trey Murphy. I've been a Trey Murphy guy for a long time. At times, I think he gets significantly overrated. But I love Trey Murphy. But there are just... Often when we do these in sell highs and buy lows, if there's one factor that's causing something, I'm very much more than happy to look at it and go, okay, that could hold. Whatever, man. Like, I'm not going to read into that. But when I see, 5 things. Hey, Poole, Zion, DeJounte, scoring, 2-pointers, 3-pointers, free throws, free throw volume, usage, steals. And I go, okay, if we just have 2 of those things drop, then the value falls out. Or one of those players return, the value drops. There's too many different things here. Again, and maybe all of them stay like this. Maybe none of those players ever return, or they come back and they're out straight away. Maybe all of these things are real. Possible. But it seems really unlikely. And the process we do is like to play the likely scenarios. When we really think about it without copium involved. Without the most far out, because if you just try to get the most far out scenario in any situation, you're going to be able to convince yourself of anything happening. And I don't think that is a strong way to play fantasy. Who is another sell high player? Well, let's go to Charlotte, because it is time for the big areola, Kon Knueppel. Knueppel is a player that I loved as a pre-draft player. I did not love him that much from a fantasy perspective this season. And the fact that he started and then was moved to the bench and was a little bit all over the place, and we saw he was pretty mid to begin the season, because my thing was, I don't know when he's going to get to touch the ball to do the things that he's really good at. And that did play out. And then Miller got hurt. And then Ball got hurt. And Knueppel looks great. I wasn't even convinced they'd keep him in a solid enough role. And apparently last week, which is clearly a mistake on my behalf, that I said, I think Sexton might actually have more value than him, which I do not believe at all. Sexton can get out of here. I think he's bad. I don't know why I would have said that, so that's my mistake. But Knueppel, as good as he is, as important and useful, and I also said yesterday he might be the favorite for Rookie of the Year. I still think Cooper Flagg is going to win the Rookie of the Year, by the way, and I didn't mention Flagg in that thing, but I think Knueppel has been the best rookie this season. Has been the best rookie. I don't know that he's going to win it, but I think he's been the best player as a rookie. When Miller is back, could be this week, and Ball is playing, and Bridges is there, what does he do? Because over the last 2 weeks, this man is the 31st ranked player, Kon Knueppel. He's averaging 36 fantasy points. I think that, and I've reassessed my assessment. I didn't have him as a top 100 player this season, but he's shown me way more than I could have expected this season. I thought that this could be who he was 2 years' time, but not now. I think he's a top 100 guy the rest of the season, but he's averaging 20 points a game with 7 rebounds and 3 assists. He's hitting 38% from 3. He's hitting 92 from the line. Now, he is an unbelievable free throw shooter. Again, I always get this number wrong. I think he missed 6 free throws last season in college. 6? He's an unbelievable shooter. But I'm going to have some skepticism that A, he can get 21 points a game. B, 7 rebounds a game. And C, that he's going to shoot 58% or 56% on his twos. 58. It is what he's shooting. I've got extreme skepticism. The Miller thing will be really intriguing. Now, Miller had really high usage, and I don't know. Who's the better prospect long term? I don't know. It's a good question. Kon can do a number of things. And I think there are parts of Knueppel's game that haven't truly been unlocked yet in terms of the passing. And what he's doing with minutes and usage is so exciting. But he is a rookie. He has a true shooting of 62% for the season, which is actually unheard of as a perimeter rookie with this much usage and this many minutes. And for as good as he has been, I find it incredibly difficult to believe that he holds at this number. So it is a tough thing to sell on a player like this, but sometimes there is hype on guys like Knueppel because he's been great. If I could get a top 60 player back, I'd be very keen to do it. But there is going to be a slump. He will have a period where he hits 87 from the line. Still awesome. There will be a period where he hits 36 or 35 from 3. There'll be a period when he hits 50 from 2 and his field goals are at 43. There will be a period when his usage goes to 18 because Miller and Ball and Bridges are doing it all. And his assists go down to 2 instead of 3 and his rebounds go down from 7 to 5.5. I don't know what happens when Josh Green and Grant Williams return, by the way. I don't know where they slot in. They probably don't matter, but we'll see. But Knueppel has been great. But some of this is without Ball. All of it is without Miller. And he's doing the thing. Trademark. Pending. He's doing the thing. Everything up. Efficiency up. While the usage and opportunity is up. Which is a very hard thing to maintain. And that is probably my concern with him. So if I could get a top 60 guy in a trade for Knueppel, I would do it. If I could get a 33 fantasy point player for Knueppel, I would do it. But otherwise, I would also just enjoy it. I like him a lot. And I feel much better now about him maintaining that start. Remember he started opening night and they benched him after one game? I would feel much better about him just sticking in that starting lineup, playing 32 minutes a night as we move forward. Feel very good about that now. But still, this level is incredibly high. We've got more guys to talk about. Today's episode, though, it is brought to you by the big fellas over at Rippling. Yes, Rippling. If you're a business owner, the truth is that SaaS promised to make work easier, but now the average company is buried by hundreds of apps that slow down your teams and simply don't work together. That's not SaaS. That is SAD. Software as a disservice. And that's why you need Rippling. Rippling is the unified platform for global HR, payroll, IT, and finance, all in one place. They've helped millions of businesses replace a mess of disconnected tools with one system designed to give leaders clarity, speed, and control. It gives you everything from onboarding to payroll to IT access and runs automatically and perfectly in sync. It's seriously simple to use and it gives you one source of truth for your people, your data, and everything that they touch. Whether you want to run your entire HR, IT, and finance operations as one or just fill in the gaps in your software stack, Rippling can do it all. And right now, you can get 6 months free when you go to rippling.com/lockedonnba. Learn more at rippling.com/lockedonnba. That is rippling.com/lockedonnba for 6 months free. Got 3 more guys that I want to talk to you about here in our sell high segments. Who are the guys that are overperforming that you've got to be cautious about when offered in trades? But for Knueppel, when we're talking dynasty stuff, I think top 25 for him is very, very reasonable. I think he's awesome. I just don't think it's happening this season. Now, I think I'm going to make it a rule that every sell high show, we have to do something to take anyone from Canada down. We have to make sure that they don't get cocky, that they understand their place in the global hierarchy, and they don't think they're better than they are. So let's talk about selling high on Immanuel Quickley. Now, he's not technically from Canada, but he plays there, so he's an honorary Canadian. Quickley is someone that, honestly, 2 weeks ago, I was getting this guy's trash. They're going to bench him. Why is he so bad? And he's responded by going, what do the kids say? Bet. 36th ranked player in the last 2 weeks, averaging 36 fantasy points. I think, and I haven't really adjusted him a huge amount from preseason expectations, in that 75 to 95 range is where I think Quickley fits. So how has he been able to push himself into the top 40? He's only averaging 19 points per game. It's not like Ingram's been out, or Barrett's been out, or Barnes has been out. What has helped him quite a bit, actually, is Jakob Poeltl returning. It's helped opening up, and they've had a focus to get Quickley going more. This one is just one of the classics. It's the classic sell high. Quickley is putting up great numbers. He's hitting 3 threes a game. He's at 6 assists a game. He's hitting 44% from 3. He's hitting 63% from 2. He's got a true shooting of 67%. Just not holding. Not happening. He is by far their best shooter. His minutes, I feel really, really confident with. His role, that's going to go back and forward, as we've seen. But this shooting is just not something I'm going to put my faith in, as much as I like him. 39%? Absolutely. No problem. 57 on his twos? Okay. I can see that. But not a true shooting of 66, which is like MVP caliber point guard efficiency. He's not that. Even the assist numbers, I'm not sure, but he's not this level of a rebounder usually either. He's at over 5.5. They're just numbers that every little part of that, and again, it goes back to that original thing we talked about, and also we're knocking him down because he's Canadian. He plays in a team in Canada, so that you have to I think it's exchange rate. That's part of what it is. But when there are just multiple things, it's not one thing. It's not okay, well, he got a few more minutes. Yeah, well, that could hold. It's all of this stuff, right? It's all the stuff combined. For the season, for example, he's at 57% on his twos, 38 on his threes. Last season, 38 on his threes. A very disappointing 47 on twos. So he is so far above what he did on his twos last season that it's that's a little bit of a joke, to be honest. His rebounding numbers, last season, 3.5. We're talking 5.6. And again, we account for the few extra minutes he's playing. Maybe he's improved. But that's a big jump. The 6 assists, maybe they hold. Does 1.1 steals hold? Don't know. He's been at 0.7 and 0.7 each of the last 2 seasons. So, 1.1 is a sizable difference. There's just too many things here for Quickley that have pushed him into a third-round player to hold. So what would I do? I thought last season, obviously before Ingram arrived, that he could be a top 50 guy. And then he just never got going. Minutes were low, got hurt a million times, and obviously couldn't have any success with hitting his twos. I would love to get a top 50 player back for Quickley because I've obviously had the belief in the past that he could be that. So maybe someone else does that. I don't believe he is that this season because of the presence of Ingram. And because just getting enough usage and ball handling is a tougher thing to do given the current environment of the Raptors. Exchange rates. I don't know how people are buying this. Obviously, if someone's got Quickley, they're loving this. This is just unbelievable production. It's fueled by stuff that's fake, but it's unbelievable production. But as always, you've got to pay attention to sustainability on it. It's great. Also, again, we want part of this show to be hey, if you get offered Immanuel Quickley, be aware of why it's there. Don't ever, guys, and this goes for fantasy points leagues and category leagues, do not ever look at a rank in isolation. I'll tell you what the ranks are. 36th in Durant. He was 80. I think he's 86 the rest of the season. And those numbers are fine. But you got to know why they're there. It's same as a fantasy point, right? 36 fantasy points. Okay. But now he was averaging 33. What's different? Look at the numbers. Don't base it just on a rank. Don't base it just on a fantasy point. You have to know why it's there. You have to know where we get to that or how we actually push to that number. Basing it just off a rank is a recipe for disaster. So, with expectation that we can have Field goal percentage dropping, rebounds dropping, three-pointers made dropping, scoring dropping, steals dropping. I think all that's realistic. I'd love to just write it out, but if someone said he's a top 50 player, I'd snap it up pretty quick, honestly. I told you that the rule is that we have to just bring Canadians down. So Dillon Brooks is also a sell high. Now you might say that's obvious, Josh. Dillon Brooks is cooking. He's a beat. I had no idea at all about Dillon Brooks being like this. Never for a million years did I think that Dillon Brooks would be worth considering in 12-team leagues. And at the moment, he is just a must-roster player. I did not know that Dillon Brooks would come out and complain that he was so scared of taking shots because he was told not to take shots in Memphis. And now it's all systems go, which is still like, it's back. And I think, look, I'll say this. I think maybe we mentioned that a little bit in the preseason. Go, what if he goes back to with the less structure of the Houston environment, he goes back to the bad Dillon Brooks and just doesn't care about his teammates. And that sort of happened from a shot-taking perspective. In saying all of that, I've had to make pretty sizable adjustments to his projections because he is just taking every shot in the world. Eventually, the Jollibee legend Jalen Green will return. And this might be one of those ones where you have to lose in the short term on Brooks, but understand that later on he just will not be able to do this. He's averaging, he is the 61st ranked player over the last 2 weeks. He's averaging 33 fantasy points. How is he doing it? Well, on stuff that just has absolutely no chance. There's so much stuff here that has no shot of sticking. He's a pretty good free throw shooter. 82 last season. He's at 93 on 6 attempts a game over the last 2 weeks. And I won't say that he's a good shooter because he is not. The last 3 seasons, field goal percentage, 43, 43, 40. The last 5 games, 53. All right, sick. How's that going to hold? Well, was he doing it on his threes? Well, not really. His threes are sort of okay, 39%. He's at 62% on twos. This big fella has never gotten to 50 before. Hasn't been a 50% two-point guy. So it's just not likely to stick. He's also pairing that with bringing big defensive numbers. And while we can talk about Dillon Brooks as this elite defender, would you like to know what his steal numbers have been the last 3 seasons? I'll give you a hint. Never been above 1. 0.8, 0.9, 0.9. This season, 2. All right. Is that a thing? Because it's not like he's never been a good defender, but now just steals just coming all the time. So he's hitting free throws at maybe let's say 8 percentage points higher. He's hitting twos at 20 percentage points higher. Maybe that's a little bit aggressive, but 15, 12 percentage points higher. His usage is through the roof. What are we doing? 29 usage. Bro was at 18 last season. 29, it's crazy. And Jalen Green will impact this. I think that we will get to a stage where Dillon Brooks is not rosterable. And he has in the past had moments where he goes 5 games, 2 weeks of really strong play. I don't think that is this. I think he's got a chance to hold it a little bit longer. But at this number, this probably goes more into deeper formats. But if anyone looks at Dillon Brooks, who's on your team, and they come to you and they give you someone that you think can be a top 100 player, for example, someone like Matas Buzelis, right? I'll use Buzelis as a name, which, again, you don't have to do a Brooks for Buzelis trade, but Brooks has been better than Buzelis. Buzelis has been a little bit disappointing for where people drafted him. Every day of the week, I take Buzelis. Not even a question. But that's the sort of player. That guy that's hovering in that 100, 110 area, who I think can maybe have a top 60-ish run as things get steady as the season goes on. Whereas a lot of things here on Brooks and Jalen Green coming back are going to be not great. Shall we look at the 9-cat fluffer? Go. What's the 9-cat fluffer? It's the guy that when you look at the rankings on Yahoo is just way overvalued. And you might have somebody in your league that really just views that as the Bible, as the real value of fantasy. I don't. So let me tell you about a guy over the last 2 weeks who sits in that spot. And I'll give you a little bit of a hint as to who it is. Yeah, it's the pencil Harrison Barnes. Barnesy, in 9-cat rankings per game, is the 56th ranked player over the last 2 weeks. Does that make any sense to you? Doesn't to me. Now, not to be too discriminatory against Barnes, he's been solid. My Durant ranking has him 103rd over the last 2 weeks. That's pretty good. He's averaging 14 points a game. Somehow he's at 0.3 blocks, which for him is high. He's at 1.3 steals, also high. A combined 5 rebounds and assists, also known as arse bounds, is not that good. So what has happened here? Well, it's very obvious. And this is the Harrison Barnes playbook. Write this one down in pencil. He will have periods of the season, maybe 3 of them during the year, where he shoots the absolute lights out and he looks great. So the big fella at the moment is at 55% from 3, 61% overall. Oh, there we go. But you know why this is an interesting 9-cat fluffer? Because obviously, he's going to come up as 55th, but there might be people who have him, or you might have picked him up and streamed him in, but there might be people who go, oh, look at that number. And now Wemby's out. Wemby is out. Castle is hurt. Barnes is going to have to be great. He can keep this up. Wemby being out, Castle being out, doesn't make you shoot 55% from 3. It doesn't make you shoot 61% overall. It just doesn't. And this is saying that Barnes' numbers season long are unbelievable. 49% from 3. 54% from the field. It is just not going to be that good. It just won't be that good. Let alone what he's doing in the last 2 weeks at 55%. His usage is 14. 14. This guy averaged half a steal a game last season. And 0.2 blocks. So it's about Barnes might be a good pickup without Wemby. You've somehow, for some reason, got him. And they see that rank on Yahoo at 55th and think that might actually stay or get better while Wemby's out. And you want to give me anyone who's a standard league contributor, I'd take it in a deal. But there is a difference between what he does in reality, I think, whereas I got him 103rd, which, of course, is admittedly a 12-team league player. But 55th, 56th is crazy. That's not who he is. But who am I? The person who hates Canada. And that is the end of the show. So all you Canadians, hit the subscribe button. Let's get to 100,000. If you can't count that far, it's 1 with 5 zeros coming after it. Hit the subscribe button, thumb up, audio as well. Double bang. Guys, what did you think of the sell highs? Anyone else that I missed? You know what I'm going to do now? Just quickly. I'm going to run through some other names that I had that I considered who I think are sell highs. Jalen Duren. There's a name. Let's see, who else? Grayson Allen, but he's hurt. Onyeka Okongwu. Nick Claxton. Miles Turner, maybe not because of the Giannis injury. Reed Shepherd, who's hitting 50% from 3 as well. Maybe a sell high. Maybe. We'll see. Josh Hart, perhaps, as well. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.